has a ghost story that's been passed down through the generations. But what if those legends were true? My name is Miranda Young, and I'm the Ghost Biker.
Hey everyone, happy Thursday night, December 18th, 1 week. Well, actually, yeah, 1 week from today is Christmas, and we are excited to be here on the Ghost Biker Garage. I'm your host, the Ghost Biker, and we have such a great show scheduled for tonight. So thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Thank you to everyone that tuned in last week. We had a great guest last week. Mr. Jake Fife joined us, and we talked about some of his upcoming projects, his photography, and just kind of caught up on some of the projects that he had done in the past, some of the things that were really important and fun to him that he's done over his time as a paranormal investigator. And to be completely honest, we sat and talked a little bit after the show about a project that we're going to work on together. So hopefully that'll be something that'll be coming here in 2026. Worked with him on my video of the Nickerson Sneed House, and can't wait to work with him again. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and hope you all have had a wonderful week so far. I know time seems to just be flying. I can't believe here we are at the end of 2026, or excuse me, at the end of 2025, the end of season 8, moving into 2026. Sorry, I am way ahead of myself tonight. We filmed for an investigation that's going to be produced and be out for season 9. And so I am a little bit, the paranormal hangover is real. Didn't get back into town until late last night. We filmed that on Tuesday night. So it's going to be a great episode. It's a really unique place. It never been investigated before, so really looking forward to putting that out there. So please bear with me tonight as I'm trying to catch up on life here, getting back a little bit to normal this week. So I've got to say it's kind of funny because this was my first episode that I had filmed in 4 years. We've been live for 3 seasons, so it's been 4 years since we filmed filmed a produced episode. So kind of got to change the mindset going and from doing the live episodes that we've done from season 6, 7, and 8 to going back and doing a few different produced episodes. So looking forward to having that coming out soon. So just want to say hello to everyone over here in the chat room. Hello to my friend, Miss Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mr. Daryl Paulette, they're from Clover Hill Village in Bedford Paranormal. I hope you're doing really well, sir. Nancy Weems, good evening to you. So glad the weather's passed. We still got a little bit of rain here, but it has been the weirdest weather. We went from a high of like 12 degrees on Sunday and Monday to almost up near the upper 50s today, almost up near 60 today, and wind and rain. So really, really weird, wonky weather. Hello to James Brady there from Spirit Led Paranormal. Hope you and your lovely wife Kim's doing well. There's my best friend and business partner, Dr. Christy Sumner. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight here. We've got Michael Greer. Hello. Glad to see you. And yep, we got Deedee back in the back room there that we're going to bring on here in a few minutes. And we'll be talking about all things dreams. We got Miss Bridget on here. Got to meet Bridget from the Florida area. Got to meet her a few weeks ago when she did a guided ghost hunt there at the historic Scott County Jail. And we had such an amazing night. So much great activity. And we definitely will tell Miss Sally that you said hello. Speaking of the historic Scott County Jail, this coming Saturday night is our Ghosts of the Past at Christmas walk. And it's just a special walk that we're doing here for Christmas time. And we have officially sold out for that walk. So it looks like the weather is going to be perfect, and really, really, really looking forward to that. So that'll be tomorrow night. We've got another guided ghost hunt to wrap up the year, and flashlight tours. And we do still have a few of those available, a few nights that you can still book a flashlight tour before the year is out. And then we will go on our winter schedule. And we can talk about this a little bit more at a later time. But we are going into the dark months. And during those dark months, what we'll be doing is offering extended paranormal investigations at the historic Scott County Jail and historic Rugby After Dark. And let me pull that banner up here. And you can, if you go to historyhighwayshaunts.com, you can book that investigation. And at that, you will get 8.5 hours for the price of 6.5 hours. And that will be for the historic Scott County Jail or the Village of Historic Rugby. And we're offering that from January 2nd through March, I believe it's March 12th, I believe, whenever the time changes there in March. And so we're offering those extended dates through that time. So you want to get in on that. The historic Scott County Jail is climate controlled. We do have bathrooms. It's a great place to investigate during the winter. And what better than to get extra time? We're also offering those investigations every single night of the week. So now we typically only do it Thursdays through Sunday nights, but during those winter months, you'll be able to book that and the Village of Historic Rugby every single night. And so also the calendars are open on the site there. They are open through the end of August. So we'll be opening the remainder of the year during, I believe maybe in February is when we'll open that. So yeah, definitely get in on that because dates do book up pretty quick. We haven't officially gone out and made the announcement outside of our pages just yet. But if you go on there, the dates are open. Flashlight tours are open through the end of August. Guided ghost hunts are open through then as well. So definitely go check it out. We did also announce we've got historic Rugby After Dark sweatshirts. I've made that post on my page as well as on the jail page. We'll talk about that here in just a few. Yes, Chris says new historic After Dark hoodies. Let me just pull that up right quick because these are some really cool hoodies. And you can get those on our online store. Let's see here. Here we go. Yeah, so we're offering those in the same colors as the jail hoodies that we have. So we've got those in heather burgundy, heather green, as well as antique sapphire. So they're very, very comfortable hoodies. And we have those in small to 3XL, I believe. But this was a limited run on these because our printer, he worked really hard to get these done for us for Christmas. So we had to kind of do a limited run on this to see if people were interested in them. And so if you've investigated there at the Village of Rugby, or if you have, if you live there in the village or have taken one of our tours, definitely want to check that out. I'm wearing one of the jail hoodies right now. If I can move my hair. I also have Ghost Biker hoodies in this green. My favorite color is green. So the Ghost Biker hoodies look really good in this as well. I've got Ghost Biker hoodies, burgundy, gray, and black, as well as the green. And the burgundy is the brighter burgundy. So if you're looking for a last minute Christmas gift, hit me up on that. You can send me a message. I do have small to 3XL in sizes. I think I'm out of 2XL in all of the hoodies, but I will be ordering more as well. So be a great way to support small business and get you a last minute Christmas present there. So again, hello to everyone over here in the chat room. I want to go ahead and get to tonight's guest because we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. We can cover, I'll re-hit up the hoodies and everything here at the end of the show. But if you have any questions for myself or tonight's guest, please feel free to put them in the comments section. If you would, put them in all caps, just so I can make sure that I don't miss them. And if you will, please help me welcome Miss Deedee Jebrail, the Dream Interpreter. Hey, Deedee.
Hi. It's so good to be here with you.
Yeah. You know, I got to say, I have really enjoyed having you join us for all of our live investigations. And so it's even more of an honor to be sitting here talking face to face with you and talking about your special projects that you've had going on.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I absolutely love, everybody knows I love them. I'm like glued to the TV because I chat on my phone, but I'm watching it on the big TV.
I love it. I love it. Well, you've really brought a lot to our live investigations that we've had with, your great questions and really kind of diving into it from a different perspective from the dream side of things. So just in case, I know a lot of these folks probably know you from where you've been on the show or from where we've been chatting during the lives. But if you will, go ahead and introduce yourself and let's talk a little bit about your specialty of dreams.
Sure. Okay. My name is Deedee Jebrail, and I've been in love with dream work since I was a teenager. I was thinking back, you kind of like go back and you think especially when you're doing dream work, it makes you revisit your whole life. And so I remember like being a child growing up and hearing the stories in the Bible, right? There was a lot of dream and interpretation in the Bible. And then when I was a teenager, it moved more into like having nightmares because being a teenager is a nightmare. And so there was a guy that I was delivering papers with, and he was in another company, and we would like meet in the middle of the night and like talk about our dreams and stuff. And then he would have me interpret his as well. And that made me think, oh, wow, not only can I discover my dreams, but I can like try to help someone with theirs, and time goes by and I, friends and family. And around 2022, 2021, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to like open it up and just interpret strangers' dreams and see, how it works out. And it worked out. I got really good feedback and I was helping people, and it just starts to grow from there, Mm-hmm. And then it came to a point where I was like, I really need a journal that works for me. Like I'd get journals and either they're too wordy or it just wasn't what I was looking for. And so I created a journal that spoke to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm really into the whole idea of we're a detective and we're trying to solve the mystery that's our dream, because at night we go to sleep and we end up someplace else and we're dealing with all these people that we may or may not know, and things are weird and it's like a mystery, and we're the detectives and it's up to us to figure out what's going on because it has a lot of deep meaning.
Absolutely. I love your thought process on this. And we're definitely going to talk about, you've got your dream journal here, and we're definitely going to dive into that. And I just got to say, guys, if you've not seen Deedee's, if you've not purchased one of her dream journals yet, then you definitely need to do this. It makes a great gift for people. Hopefully none of the people that I've bought them for are watching and no, but I have purchased some that are going to be included in several gifts. But like Chris says here, I love your thoughts on that of a dream detective. I mean, because that really seems to be what it is when you're going in and trying to decipher these dreams. Do you find that most of the time, because I've got so many questions here, and so do you find that it is more of a message, or that it's more of the fact that it's us trying to kind of sort through, our own events and things that have happened to us, like throughout the day or throughout a period of time?
Well, it's really both. It's our mind. The whole purpose of the dreams really is to work through our day and our emotions and kind of sort it out and let it go. But what happens for most of us is that we repress a lot, and our mind just can't work through all the stuff that we go through on a daily basis. And so there's that space where the dreams, if you take the time to dig into the dream and work with it, you're going to get a lot of information. I've gone all the way back to the core of why I do everything I do, to an event that happened to me when I was 7 years old. And it's
Wow.
like, I never would have thought that, but literally have patterns in waking life and in my dream life, because your dream life will mirror what's going on. It's just you don't see it because it seems so different. And we look for things that went on like today or last week, and we blame a situation that maybe was, 6 months ago, but really the core of it goes back further, because we're dealing with things based on emotions that we learned early on. And it's fascinating.
Yeah. So is it a lot of the time essentially stuff that we've not let go or stuff that we're trying to work through?
Yeah. So you have your conscious mind, your ego, and I'm actually listening to an audiobook right now. It's a book called Dream Wise, which if you're really into it, I recommend checking it out. But they speak to the fact that you've got, she calls it the dream maker, which is
Okay.
your subconscious talking to you. And then you have your dream ego, which is yourself, right? Your conscious mind. And so what happens is there's always resistance, because the subconscious or the dream maker is trying to teach you something that you need to know. But our ego pushes back because we either don't like the feedback, we don't want to work on it. And so what happens is the longer you push things back and repress things, the more likely you have nightmares, and it becomes an ongoing series until you step back. I found that, and I always end up going back to nightmares, but if I work with dreams for 2 weeks straight,
Uh-huh.
and I honestly sit there and understand where I'm coming from with different emotions, I will then have good dreams for probably another 2 weeks. And then I'll start to get lazy, and maybe
Oh,
I won't write down a dream. And then the nightmares start coming back because I'm not working with it. So it's interesting how
wow.
our mind will do that.
Okay. Well, I've sort of wondered because I've really gotten into sort of the natural way of like detoxing your body and the natural way of like whole foods and that sort of thing over the last couple months. And in doing my research, they talk about like the gut brain and how at night, how important sleep is and getting just enough sleep. And so it one of the things I was reading was talking about your body, certain parts of it detoxes at certain times of the night with and if you're not getting ample enough sleep, then the that essentially that detox of like the liver or the gut or what have you, it causes your body to kind of not function right the next day.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a similar thing with dreams? Because I know we dream a lot during our REM sleep. And so if we're not getting the right amount of sleep, do you think that any of that can kind of play? Because I know I tend to have dreams more at certain times of the year. I don't always remember my dreams, but there's certain times of the year, and I've been able to kind of go back and see that I'm having more of these dreams when I'm coming off of a stressful period or a period like say October, when I'm traveling and doing all these investigations and maybe my sleep hygiene is not the best.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Sleep hygiene is so important. You're not supposed to eat like 3 hours before you sleep. People always ask me, what should I eat? It's like, you shouldn't eat anything before you go to bed. But a lot of people like say you may not have your dinner until 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then you're going to
Mhm.
bed at 10, but you really shouldn't be doing that. And your dinner should actually be your lightest meal, because the one thing that stood out to me is that when you're digesting your food at nighttime, like say you go to bed after eating something, it makes your heart rate go up, and it makes your heart really stressed. And I thought that was interesting. And then when you're even like drinking water, you shouldn't drink water like immediately when you go to sleep. You should already be hydrated throughout the day. Then you're not like guzzling water before you're going to sleep, because that wakes you up. But say it just wakes you up to go to the bathroom, but you've
Mhm.
broken your sleep, and that disturbs it disturbs the rest. And I actually got the Aura ring to track my sleep, because I thought my sleep was so bad. Apparently it's not as bad as I thought. But you can see how long you're in REM sleep and light sleep and deep sleep. And from myself, it starts off with all deep sleep. And then you could see the little spikes where you wake up. And I had one in the middle of the night where you get up. I got up and went to the bathroom, and the spike was just like off the chart. Another one where my
Wow.
cat got me. And so it's, if you miss those periods of time, if you get up, if you have insomnia, if you eat and your body's working really hard, it's stressing it out and you're not getting that restorative sleep.
Mhm.
And so you may have dreams and you may feel like, okay, well, I was asleep for 6 hours, but it was all like broken and you're not getting that deep sleep. That's actually the most important sleep for your health,
Mhm.
is the deep sleep. And then the REM is more like your mental health, working things out.
Wow. It just goes to show that balance is so key in everything, because my situation is, and again, it tends to be at certain times of the year. Otherwise, I'll lay down and I'll go to sleep, but I'll even get to the point where I will wake up continuously with my heart racing and heart pounding.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm dreaming because of that, or if that is causing my heart rate to get up when I wake up, almost like a nocturnal panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, I mean, if you're having dreams, more than likely the dream is becoming, you're probably stressed, and the
Mhm.
dream is becoming, because a lot of people think of stress as being like upset or having anxiety, but stress can also just be you're working really hard and you have deadlines to meet. And so you're not upset, but you're still putting a lot of pressure on your body. And so it's probably your mind working through that. And then when you wake up suddenly, it's always going to make your heart like, because you're coming, you're being like, you're being pulled out of your sleep when you wake up from a nightmare. It's like someone
Yeah,
just yanked you out, which, elevates your heart.
absolutely. So let's get to a few of the questions, because we've got some great questions coming in here. And thank you for answering those for me, Deedee, because that's been something I've always been curious about, because it just always seems to be at a certain time of the year, and I can pinpoint it to whenever I'm coming off of my season. And I never know if it's dreams because of all the investigations, or the fact that I've been up in a non a non I can't even think of my words tonight, but a schedule that's not consistent as
Yeah,
over a
and
few days.
that's a big deal. You're supposed to, I mean, weekend, weekday, you're supposed to go to bed and wake up the same time every day,
Yeah,
which, most people don't, but that's
I
actually
know.
part of sleep hygiene as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Chris says, I have a friend who says she never dreams. She says she literally goes to sleep and then wakes up. Do you think that is possible? For me, that seems weird and sad, because I love to dream. And Chris has told me some of her dreams, and Chris has some vivid dreams too.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, everybody dreams. You may not remember them. Basically, from what I understand, is that the bottom line is the reason people don't remember their dreams is because they're not interested in it enough.
Oh,
If they truly are interested in it and they say they never had dreams, the first thing you want to think is, have you never in your entire life ever had a dream? Or can you recall one nightmare? Because if you can recall even one dream, then yeah, you do dream. You're just not remembering it. And so you have to set an intention saying, I'm going to do this for 30 days. I want to see if I
mhm.
can recall a dream. And every day you journal, maybe journal what you want to dream about, and then wake up in the morning and write down how you felt, and make it a consistent thing where you're always writing in a journal about dreaming, whether you dream or not. And it'll start to remind the mind that you do want to recall the dreams. The other thing is, if you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning with a dream, you have to be prepared to write it down, because a lot of times we do dream throughout the night and we're like, oh, I'll remember that in the morning. But then you just don't, you know. Um, but I mean, those are the first, if somebody really does want to learn, you can. It's
Yeah.
possible.
And so you said influence in your own dreams. So can we actually, because I know there's been times I've had certain dreams, and then I'm like, oh, I want to go back to sleep and continue that.
Yeah,
And so you can intentionally um, influence your dreams.
you definitely can. You can set intentions that you want to. My favorite is like coming up with creative ideas.
Mhm.
So that's great for anybody really. But like if you're somebody who's working on a book, or you're an artist, or you're writing music or anything like that, you would set the intention of coming up with creative ideas. And so it may or may not give you creative ideas within the dream, but you might, like in the middle of the day, all of a sudden have like this amazing idea. And it's probably because of something that was working through your mind while you were asleep. But it can also, I've had it show up in dreams where I've asked for things and I've gotten, I mean, this is like off topic a little bit, but I've been very interested in ancestry. And I've
Yeah.
had dreams where I've gotten names of people and stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can go on that you could pull, you know, maybe from your ancestry or your own mind.
It, it just goes to show our mind never stops.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. James says, I always enjoy your comments on Miranda's show. Can you tell me why I can never remember what I dream about? I know I have had some vivid dreams, but just can't remember when I wake up.
Yeah, same thing. You're going to have to set an intention, you know, make it a focus for like try a week, try 30 days and just say, and then another practice you can do too is to take an old dream, write it out and try to interpret it, you know, and that'll also teach your mind, oh, okay, we're into this. And the dream maker, as they would call it, will be like, okay, are we going to work on stuff? Let's go. And then it'll, you know, but the minute you wake up, you've got to write something down, talk it out loud. I always say, speak the dream out loud as if you were telling someone about your dream. Because if you ever notice, like when you're telling someone about your dream, how all of a sudden you like remember more and more and more.
Yes.
As you talk about it, because it becomes like a real event.
Okay. Do you think sometimes because of, I mean, there may be various reasons, but do you think we intentionally repress those dreams, almost like a repressed memory?
Could be.
Or do you think
Yeah.
it's unintentional?
I think if you're somebody who is repressing, if you have things that you don't want to deal with, you know, like if you're even like, hear a song and something about it really is disturbing and stuff, you know, that could be something where you're repressing. I mean, sometimes people have really traumatic things go on and during a certain amount of time, they don't want to do dream work. I have talked to people who have had traumatic things happen and they have nightmares that are just hellacious and they don't even want to like talk about the dream or remember the dream. They want to not remember the dreams.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I guess after a amount of time, if you repress your dreams, you would start not remembering them.
That makes sense. Now, Bridget says she has the opposite effect of James and she remembers every bit of her dreams.
Yeah. And do you work with them? Do you journal them? And
that was going to be my
a gold
question.
mine. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Chris says she agrees with Bridget. She says she loves to dream. I tell you, Chris has told me sometimes that some of the dreams she's had, I mean, they're so vivid. And, you know, sometimes you got to look at that and wonder why. Now, Bridget does say the only thing that freaks me out is from time to time I have sleep paralysis, and that scares her.
Yeah, I had that one time and it's absolutely terrifying. And I actually made a blog post about that, like ways that you can wake up. You got to like, if you're having sleep paralysis, you just sit there and you recognize you're having it. Don't panic because that makes it even more severe. And try to do something like wiggle a toe or a finger, like focus on that and not panic. And it will start to help you come out of it.
That's good advice. Let's see. D Hood says, hey, Deedee, years ago, I had a dream about an acquaintance and saw her the next day. She said, I had a dream about you last night, but I can't recall the details, but you were there. And she says, so my question is this a common occurrence? Two folks dreaming about one another at the same time or on the same night? Oh, fascinating.
Well, I would like to think so. I feel like we dream about each other more than we realize. And maybe if you don't remember your dreams, you might like wake up in the morning and think about somebody that you hadn't talked to in a while and decide you want to call them. Mm-hmm. So I think like on some level, there's some kind of connection with all of us. And like sometimes you think about somebody out of the blue. So I think that's I think that that's a thing that happens, that if we're meant to talk for some reason, you will
Yeah.
dream or think of a person.
Do you think that what she's talking about is like a form of astral projection, maybe unintentional astral projection, where I don't know, maybe where you've met in that dream world, or do you think that it's just sort of a, like you said, more of just a connection, that it's like, oh, we need to be, we need to make that connection in the daytime world.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that. I mean, you could look at it two ways, spiritually or psychologically. Psychologically, I feel like if there's, you have a connection with somebody, you've been friends with them. So maybe something came up, could be worldwide or within the family or whatever. And you both just think of each other because of that connection you already have. Spiritually, there could be, it could be the same type of thing. There's the green thread, they say, with the connections. And so I think that, I just think there is something to that. I don't hear about it a lot, but the stories I have heard seem so, there's no explanation other than that. So
Yeah. Let's see. Got some great questions and comments here. Bridget says, what do you think about deja vu from dreams?
I love it. I think it's interesting. I think that if you're someplace and something happens and it happened in a dream, it's like a premonition, right? You saw that happen before it did. And I do get a lot of people who write me about, it could be something really simple, but yeah, I think that's also a real thing that happens. And I don't really have an answer for how you could see something before it happens.
Do you think for some people it's, or let me think, I'm trying to think of the right way to ask that. Do you think that like some intuitive people or empath psychics, do you think that sometimes that may be where, because some of the people that have special gifts, they get those from different places. Some get impressions when they walk into a place, when they touch an item. Do you think that is where some maybe get some of their messages from, would be in the dreams?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I think that if you lean more towards being psychic, that you would definitely have a lot of interesting dreams, intuitive dreams. I also think that maybe the rest of us who are consciously not getting a lot of psychic hits, but in dreams we could, for sure.
Good point. It'd be interesting to have multiple people, especially investigators, do the dream journal and see, especially if they're before an investigation or around multiple investigations, to see if they do pick up on anything. I know I had one time happen to me. I was investigating Brushy Mountain prison. I was getting ready to go. I think it was like my 4th time investigating it. And I took a nap before I went to do the investigation. And for me, what I'll get sometimes, and it's not an intuitive thing that I know of, it's just a dream thing, but I had a word come to me and I woke up repeating that word over and over, and I couldn't get it out of my head, almost like an earworm on a song.
Yeah.
And it was the word king. And I didn't know what that meant, because King is a popular last name in the area, or in this area. It could be a nickname. It could be, there's a lot of things it could be. And so when we went, we ended up encountering a person in the auditorium that literally, the EVP we got, he said they called him King. And I was like, no way. And what was wild about it is he dominated the entire investigation. Did not matter where I went. I kept getting this same guy's voice on a spirit box, on EVPs straight up out of the air. And I don't know if it was just a message or just something that came to me or what, but yeah, I know that happened literally on a nap before the investigation.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like spirits, I've had people, I did a dream study where people were trying to contact either loved ones who had passed away
Mhm.
or spirit guides. And one of the dreamers she asked in her dream, she asked her father if he would give her a physical sign when she was awake. And in the morning,
Oh.
she came down to her car, and in this like sticky, like stuff, there was a cross on the
Oh.
windshield. And she sent me a picture. She's like, oh my God, and we had worked for maybe just a couple of days into it, and she got that message. And it was
Oh,
just like,
cool.
wow. So I feel like
That's
spirits do talk to us in our dreams, and they may not appear like, say you're dreaming about your mother, they may not
Mhm.
appear as your mother, they may appear as somebody else, but you got to look, does this person or, whatever, symbolize them?
Absolutely. It's like when you dream, and I've done this actually fairly recently, is dreamed about multiple people. They don't look like them. They're not that person, but they are. They don't look anything
Yeah.
like them, but you got to use the discernment, and that's a cool experience there.
Yeah.
Um, Daryl says, I pretty much don't dream, but the one time that I did dream, I had a repetitive dream for about a week straight about me in a car wreck. And that following weekend, I totaled my car
Wow.
and spent a week in the hospital. So I'm a believer that your dreams can actually be a glimpse to the future or something that may happen. Wow.
Wow.
That gave me
Yeah.
chills.
Me too. Yeah,
Oh,
that's a hard one, so you got to decide, is this, a premonition, or am I just, having I mean, was it the same exact dream every time? Did you dream about the road you actually crashed on? Was there any like similarities?
oh, that's all good questions, because I'd be interested to know if every time he dreamed, if he got more pieces of the puzzle each
Yeah.
time, or that's interesting, Daryl.
Yeah.
And like I said, a little
Definitely
bit
journal your
scary.
dreams.
Exactly. And then if you don't dream very often, like he said, once you start dreaming, I think I'd be scared once I had a dream of like, where is this going?
Yeah, I would write that
Um,
down.
yeah, no doubt. Let's see. Chris says, have you ever studied dreams with twins? My twin and I have continued dreams several times, i.e., I started dreaming, and then Jen told me how it ended.
Ooh, I haven't, but I would love to do that. That's really interesting. So
That would.
they're having a mutual dream. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Make
there
sure.
like, I'd be curious to know, was there a certain types of dreams that you both have together? Like when does this happen? That would be my question. How often does it happen? When does it happen? What's the content of the dream? Is it like a message for both of you or an outside, family member? That's really interesting.
Wow. That's a good point. Yeah, Chris, if you can put any of that in the comments there, about, like what Dee Dee said, I'd be, it'd be interesting. We need to do a show and do a panel and have you on. We need to have Chris and Jenny, and I know a couple other twin investigators on. It would be so
Wow.
cool to just do that and do kind of have a little dream panel with twins on it. But I think you should
Yeah.
definitely do a twin study, because that's
Yeah, that's a
fascinating.
great idea.
Let's see. D Hoot says this was totally random for both of us and no real connection other than the occasional hello. And I know she's talking about her dream where she dreamed and the other person dreamed about her.
Yeah, but okay, so no real connection with you two as far as like, meaning, feeling like there's meaning, but sometimes it can be a time period. So like say this was a high school friend and something came up in the news that triggered you to think about
Oh.
that person. You know what I'm saying? That could be the connection. It doesn't have to be like a strong emotional connection, just a connection.
That makes sense. That is weird though, if it is a random person that you're not, like, I can understand if I say, for instance, had a dream about Chris, since we work together and see each other on a regular basis, or maybe even someone that I talk to over here in the chat room, because we tend to talk on a weekly basis. So I can understand that, but that does make you really wonder, especially if it was just somebody that is more of an acquaintance.
Yeah, there had to be something to it though, because the coincidence of you both having a dream, whether you remember it or not, but knowing you did, there has to be an underlying message
Right.
for that.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Sonia says, I've read recently regarding Sleep 1 and Sleep 2 biphasic sleep. It was common centuries ago before gas, lights, and electricity. And so what she's saying on that was that they would sleep for, like, say, for instance, 4 hours and then get up, do something, and then for a period of time, and then sleep for another 4. Would having a sleep cycle like that now benefit people?
I don't think so. I really believe that if anything under 6 hours is not great. And so 4 hours, I just feel like those people probably ran themselves into the ground doing that. Although maybe a couple of centuries ago, maybe it was different. Maybe it doesn't matter. But for me, I feel like it's sunrise to sunset is like the most, common, or sunset to sunrise, sorry. Would be the most. It's like when it gets dark, you think about the animals, with the exception of like cats, because cats sleep like 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
But I feel like sleeping 4 hours at a time would really drain you, even if you like have recovery, you do something, go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Are
you a night owl?
I used to be. And now I'm not. But I'm exhausted. I do so much during the day that like I fall asleep the second I lay down, which actually isn't good. But when I was younger, yeah, I could stay up until, I can stay up till 3:00 in the morning, but I hate myself. I've done it on investigations because it's fun and it's interesting and you're like in the moment. But then if I lay down at 3:00 in the morning, I can't sleep. That 3 to like by the time 5:00 comes around, I just get up. So basically I've had no sleep because I just can't, once I've gotten past a certain time, I just can't go to sleep at all.
Now, I do understand that because I typically work a lot of the paranormal investigations we have at the jail, and those end at 3, but it's after 4 when I get home. And so it's harder for me once the sun comes up because I've never been a sleep late person, but I'm kind of a night owl because I'm creative at night. That's when I want to draw, when I want to do graphic design work and stuff. So I didn't know if you tended to be more creative during the day or at night.
I'm the opposite. I'm a creative in the morning. So like I will, if I get like a creative idea at 2:00 in the morning, I've gone to bed, but then I'll wake up at like 2 to 4:00 in the morning. I get like an idea. I'll make a coffee and I'll be up at 2:00 in the morning, working out what I thought of. So all my energy is there in the morning. So I do everything in the morning. In the afternoon, I'm not very helpful.
Okay. But that's a good question, Sonia. Because I know she and I talked about that at one point in time, and was talking about the phases of sleep and how they used to do that. So that very interesting question. Let's see. Ronnie says, I find that I have dreams that I can't remember details. I would like to remember, good or bad. And we'll get into the dream journal here because one of the things that I really like how you broke that down. And this really does talk about remembering or doing things to help you remember that. And from what I gather from what you have in here and from what you're saying, it's really about consistency.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about this, having a notepad. Will you be consistent? Where if you have a book, okay, I've got this book. It's interesting because I give you a lot of activities to do too. So it's not like you just write down your dream and you try to analyze it. It's like there's dream mapping. So you've got like the graphs and stuff to put in your symbols. So it's creative that way. I have places where you can name your dreams and you can, color the different, like I have doors and windows, and there's all these different ways that because everybody's different. I've tried to give you everything so that something will work for each thing will work for different people. And the whole thing about the dream map is you can flip through it and you can see I dream about houses all the time. That's like cats, houses, medicine. Those are like my top things, but I wouldn't have really thought about it until I sat there and I looked at every single dream and things that you get to a point where if you get good recall, you'll start to remember things that are said. And I took a thing, and I love doing experiments. So I kind of I approach everything as an experiment, but I went through with a highlighter for the 30 days and I highlighted everything that was said by me and said by my subconscious. And it was fascinating. And then I took them all out in one thing and I had it written out, everything that was said, and I read it back to myself. And you could see the conversation that I had with myself over the course of the month. And what my subconscious is saying and what my conscious is saying. And it was like, wow, this is really fascinating. So there's lots of ways, like you write down, was it daytime or nighttime? Because daytime tends to be like, is a clarity, a conscious awareness, where nighttime is more like the subconscious. You're digging deep into your subconscious. So there's so many layers. And I try to appeal to people who are artists. I left you a bunch of space in there so you can actually draw out things you saw in your dream. Somebody like me who's not good with that, I can use the map and I could just write down the symbols and see how they align. So I mean, there's just lots of ways to approach it. But I think if somebody were to sit there and like my mom got a journal, and I didn't think that she would really get that much out of it. She loves it so much.
Oh, wow.
And she spent the whole 30 days. And she said she learned so much about herself that she didn't even realize. And then at the end, she said, now all her dreams are really good and she's remembering them. So it's just, it's going to be a different experience for everybody who uses the journal.
Was there a reason that you picked 30 days, or is that kind of like, where when you start, so much time to change a habit or so much time to do something, is 30 days significant as far as like in that time period, you will start to, from what you've seen in your experiences, you will start to remember the stuff, or you will start to be able to transform your dreams. Is that 30 days significant, or was that just a good amount of time to?
I felt like, what I have found, it's about 14 days for me personally. I felt like 30 days was a good solid number that when you're trying to compare the symbols and stuff to go back, you could see like, wow, 20 days I dreamt about a house, and what did that mean and what emotions. And so you could see like a whole month of your life in this book, and how did it relate to the month you just had. So, and like I started the very first one when I was testing it out, I started on a new moon and I went all the way for 30 days, and it showed me like how the moon cycles went and the whole bit. So I feel like 30 days is like a solid number, especially if you're trying to remember your dreams. And there's another way I had it too, because there's people who say they can't remember their dreams. You could do 30 days in a row, which is what I intended it for. But you could also just do 30 dreams. So say it takes you 6 months, you could still just do 30 dreams, and you'll see the dates and you'll see, wow, I didn't have any dreams for 2 weeks. And then I had one, and you'll get to see another layer, another pattern. I only dream, when this is happening, or I only dream, like you'll get to see the patterns of what's creating you having dreams too, or ones that at least you recall.
Okay. So have you found, now we know the moon cycle does affect moods, and it does tend to affect a lot of things, especially in nursing homes, hospitals, and with animals and such. Have you found that moon cycles do tend to affect your dreams more?
I do. I find that not only is it the moon cycles, but like just the different astrological things that go on, like it really does, planet alignments, all that stuff. I'm like, is it my imagination, or is this really like seem to line up? And it does affect it. Now, I don't know if that's just because we're aware and it, makes us affect it, or if it's actually just something outside of us that kind of drives the information we're getting and how.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the moons are so strong to be able to affect the tides and to
Yeah.
be able to affect certain things. And the fact that our body is such a
Water.
high
Yeah.
percentage of water, it just makes sense that the
It
moon would
does.
affect
Yeah.
that. I would like to try not, I mean, I tend to keep track of the moon phases, obviously, with investigations and such. It'd be interesting to journal for 30 days because you're going to get what, a full moon cycle in those 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be interesting to not keep track of the moon cycles and
Yeah. And go back.
see, yeah, and do it over a couple month period and see
Yeah.
if those dreams line up.
Yep.
When you go back and look at those dates, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
think you'll find that it does.
I'm sure it does. Let's see. Bridget says, lately in my dreams, I realize that I am dreaming and I'm trying to wake up. Oh, wow.
Oh, and you
Interesting.
can't wake up? Huh.
Huh.
So if you're aware, then you have to like get to a point where in the dream, if you can, and that takes practice. Lucid dreaming is not something that I'm good with. As soon as I'm aware that I'm dreaming, I tend to wake up, or I just like sit there and I observe. And like, but I don't seem to be able to like insert choices.
Mhm.
So the fact that you can't wake up, I feel like that alone has some symbolism in it, and maybe journal about the nights that's happening and what's the content of the dream that you can't wake up from, because I feel like that in itself is a symbol. I can't wake up from this. I can't get away from this. You know what I mean? I feel like there's more to that. There's a story to that.
Yeah. Interesting here. Now, do you find, because I know for some people it's controversial, but I know I see a lot of the time people advertising teas or different supplements that you can take to promote lucid dreaming. How do you feel about that?
Well, I have tried some teas, and the thing is that my opinion, okay, it didn't make me lucid dream, but it made my dreams extremely intense. So it increased the intensity of the dream, but I wasn't able to control anything within the dream.
Um,
But I feel like it's almost like a cheating. So if you do the work, your
mhm,
subconscious already has that ability, like the hallucinogenics, microdosing, all that stuff.
mhm,
That's just tapping into your subconscious. So if you just meditate
mhm,
and set intentions and work with your subconscious, you're going to get that without having to take anything.
mhm.
Uh, it could change the information, I almost feel like, or, I woke up with a hellish headache, and that's why I never did it again. Cause I was like, well, this wasn't worthwhile,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say there's probably no harm. I would talk to a doctor,
Mhm.
but I'd be careful where you get them from.
Yeah.
I would get it from, a company as a retired insurance agent. I have to
Yeah.
say, like get it, make sure that they're insured and stuff and they know what they're doing. I mean, you could just like drink chamomile tea or lavender tea or
Yeah.
blue lotus tea, but again, where is it coming from?
Well,
But
and
I don't think you need it.
that's what I wonder because I've heard people, and I'm kind of paralleling it with paranormal. I've heard people talk about microdosing and such and doing paranormal. I feel like it sort of it creates an impure experience
Yeah,
because I don't know that. I mean, with the paranormal, I feel like it's like, well, is that really in something that is supernatural or is that your mind influencing that? I feel like it'd be
sure.
the same thing with your dreams, that something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know so much that it could enhance it, but rather make it just more intense. And I feel like it would influence the dream more
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Possibly. I mean, like I said, my one experience, it just made it so intense.
Mhm.
But maybe I would have had the same content. And I prefer my dreams to unfold more calmly.
Yeah.
I don't need the intensity.
I think I would have a panic attack because of that. I don't think I
Yeah.
would wanna do that because I would probably be anticipating things to be kind of intense, and that would cause it to do that almost I mean, because I know, like, when you have a fever dream, or if you
Right.
take anti-anxiety medicine or certain things
Yeah.
trying to get on it, or having a migraine, taking migraine medicine, some of that
Yeah.
stuff can intensify the dreams. I just feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be impure. Um, so Chris says, she said she had a premonition that her granddaddy, who is deceased, came to me and told me he was waiting on my Nana. I think it was a connection that he was letting me know he was there as a spirit, and he was waiting on her to cross over. Do you think the deceased talked to us through our dreams?
I think they do. I don't know how often, like, I don't, like maybe you have a dream about somebody and it's just a dream, but
Mhm.
we all know there's a different kind of feeling sometimes. And I always look for synchronicities. Like, so you had a dream about a loved one that came to you. What was a synchronicity in waking life? Because I feel like first you have that feeling that's just different. It feels different. And then there's always going to be some kind of synchronicity in your waking life that kind of confirms the dream, like the lady who had the cross. I mean, what are the odds that would happen? Who goes around doing that? So
Mhm.
I think that there's more to it. There's a feeling and then a synchronicity of some sort. But
Great
I totally think
answer.
it's possible.
Yeah, yeah. And I think because a lot of people will talk about, I get asked that question a lot. A lot of people will talk about, um, I feel like so and so came and visited me in my dream.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really good point to discern the difference is, are we just thinking about them, or are they truly messaging us? And I
Yeah.
feel like you said, if there would be synchronicities, I think that's a really
Yeah.
good point. Um, let's see. Uh, Bridget says, when I investigated with Miranda, you asked me which spot that I felt about to start the investigation, and we got the most at that spot. And we did. We let the location talk to us, and we she picked the spot, and it was like game on from
Ooh.
from that point. Yeah, she just um, let the place speak to her. Let's see, D Hoot also had a dream where I was speaking to someone that I do not know, and she couldn't hear or see me. In the dream, I realized I was dead, then woke up in a panic attack. Wow.
Oh, I hate those kind of dreams. I've had dreams where I'm dead too.
Oh,
um,
really?
yeah. So, does she want me to make a comment on that? I
I
mean,
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
pop it back up again?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So she's speaking to someone that she doesn't know. So it's just like a strange character that you don't know. And then the character couldn't hear or see her. So in some aspect, like when they say when something dies, that means some belief, an aspect of yourself, a way of thinking has died off, but she's still like talking. So she still thinks that whatever it was is relevant and no one's listening. And this the reason the person I believe was a stranger is because it didn't matter. They just needed a character. So it didn't matter. They didn't need to have a description or anything, because it was
Okay.
about letting something go.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, dreaming that you're dead is I had a dream once that I had gone through a thing. And so in the dream, I was laying in a coffin and I realized I was dead and buried. And I was like, aware, and I was freaking out because I was like, oh my God. And then they exhumed me and I realized I had been dead for 16 days. And I was pulling the covers over my face because I didn't want them to see me decomposing. And it was basically about I was leaving one thing and starting something new. And I didn't like when the light was coming on me, I was like unsure about how I was going to be perceived because, I was being exhumed, but
Wow.
it was about, public identity, really.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So so a lot of the time so a lot of the time when it's something like that, do you find that, because I remember last year when I had you on the show, I sent you several different dreams, and I guess when you think at surface value what the dream may mean, it it's almost not always as dark and sinister as what you would think it would be. You know, I mean, I could
Yeah.
see where that dream you had could be disturbing, but really when you sit there and start to peel back the layers on it, that makes perfect sense when you start looking at what is going on around you and such. And it really
Yeah.
doesn't seem like that just seems like a dramatic way to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, my subconscious likes to, it's like she likes stories, let's go.
that,
But yeah, I mean, that's why I always try to tell people, because people get so freaked out by their nightmares. I mean, if you have chronic nightmares, then you got to go like to a therapist. But if you're somebody who just has like, bad dreams, scary characters and stuff, if you work through them, you're going to see the meaning behind it. Even though I'll wake up from a dream, I used to wake up scared. Now I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I got to write this down. I'm excited because this is amazing. So you got to turn the tables, because your subconscious isn't trying to scare you. It's trying to grab your attention.
yeah. Well, and what a great way to get an introspective look at yourself,
Yeah.
is just through your dreams. Um, let's see. James says, Daryl Paulette, I need you for I need for you to dream for a week that I win the Powerball. We all need that.
Yes.
Let's see. Nancy says that she saw a car crash and told my husband to stop before it happened, but he went on and it happened. And she had
Oh,
mentioned earlier, I think I missed her comment. She said that she has dreamed before about things and then they've happened.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You got to really that's a case where I feel like you should definitely keep a journal and keep track of what's going on, just for the sake of like saving things from happening, but also just the interesting topic of seeing how, when do you get these hits and why.
yeah, absolutely. Nancy, I think you would really like this dream journal. Chris says if you want to do a study with twins, let her know. She can get you several sets of twins to do this.
Okay.
I think that's fascinating. I'd love to see what
Yeah.
you all got on that. Let's see. Ronnie says, my dad passed away 15 years ago, and I never had a dream with him in it until this year. He never talks to communicates with anyone. He is just there smiling.
Oh, I
Wow.
love that. So then I love that he's doing that. He's just letting you know he's there. And then you could even, maybe there is a message to that, is he wearing something? What is your emotion? Where are you at? Like you could like revisit the dream and get more information just from that. Cause it could be a message from him. It could be a message for you, but you'll get more information just like looking at the scene. Doesn't necessarily have to talk.
And, and that was one of the things you mentioned to me whenever you analyzed some of my dreams last year, was even the subtle things of like if you're doing something with your right hand, or if you look to your left or your right side, just
Yeah.
significance of that is,
Yeah.
it's not just there's an owl in my dream or whatever. It's even the simplicity or the simple
Yeah.
thing.
Well, and even the emotions. What is your emotion towards, the owl or what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream the other night and I was being chased. I was walking on a dirt path. There was chain link fences on each side of me. And I was all happy. I'm exploring and I looked ahead and there was a bear, a big black or big brown bear. And I was like, oh no. And I yelled bear and I started running, and I was running so much like I was scraping my hands on the dirt and stuff. And I woke up and I was like, wow, that was intense. And I came to realize when I woke up, I never saw the bear come after me. That was all perception about something I had feared. And I was concerned about it
Oh.
getting me, but it never showed any aggression towards me. And so it was a lesson on not, going straight to panic mode and freaking out and hurting yourself trying to get away from something that was never even looking at you in the first place, So you can get stuff like that too.
It makes me wonder, is our mind, um, what's my word I'm looking for? So like when you're talking about the bear, is our mind when we're in that sleep state, um, sane enough is not the right word, but together enough to put to put a full picture together, or are we sort of getting pieces and we're interpreting the in between? Do you know what I'm saying on that? Um, like watching a full movie, I guess. Does your mind have the capacity when you're in a dream state to, because I'm a detailed person, okay? When I'm doing anything, when I'm telling a story or hearing a story, I like the details. Is our mind sane enough in our sleep to put together all those details, and we just don't remember them? Or is it sort of putting pieces together and we're sort of filling in the blanks? Like maybe you didn't see the bear chasing you, but was it chasing you perchance? And you just didn't see that, but your mind interpreted it as doing that. Does that make sense
I
what I'm
think,
trying to say?
yeah, no, I think that in a dream, there's like observation dreams where you're actually just observing things. And then there's dreams where you're like a character that is interacting with the other characters in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like observation dreams are closer to where we're sorting it out in real time. We're watching the dream,
Okay.
and so that in that way, we're kind of understanding what's happening versus when you're just the character and you're reacting to everything. You're not solving anything. You're just you're interacting with, you're a character in your dream at that point. But if you have observation dreams where you're just watching things and you may not have a lot of emotion, you're just observing. I think that's more like our conscious is like, wait a minute, what does this mean?
Oh, okay. Well, it's just crazy to think because, you can sit and watch a movie and of course it's all laid out in front of you, but it's
Yeah.
amazing sometimes the things that your mind can put together. Like I've had dreams about things I wouldn't even think that I could get the concept of that,
Yeah.
of putting this whole scenario together. And yet I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about it and essentially seeing it in my dream, but I would have never thought that I could put that together.
Yeah, no, that's why I like that she calls in that book, they call him the dream maker. Cause it's like, if you think there's like this aspect of you behind the scenes, that's like sitting there, making the movie for you, and we're going to watch it. And I love that. It's like, you're having this communication. And I feel like the one thing is that the subconscious has our back. It may seem like they're being scary or sharing weird information and stuff because it's all symbolic. That's how it speaks. Mm-hmm. But it ultimately wants our survival because we are our subconscious and our conscious, so it's almost like our smarter self is saying, because like our conscious mind is one with all the emotions and stuff, where our subconscious is more like, this is what's happening, and this is what's this is where there's a deficit that you need to fix. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it all just makes perfect sense when you break it down like that. Let's see. Okay. So Daryl is answering the question that I had. I think I'm a little behind on the comments here. Daryl was answering his question because I had asked if he got more pieces each time. And he says it was similar each time. And yes, each dream I remembered a little more, and I was able to remember enough to tell Becky about them.
Wow.
Wow, that's just scary.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ronnie says, okay, we've already answered that about people dreaming. He was asking if people dream every night and we just don't remember every dream. So
at least that's what the research says, is that we do.
Okay. Okay, let me just see here. Sonia is talking about, okay, so she was the one that asked the question about the biphase of sleeping 4 hours, waking up. She says back then they would go to sleep at sunset and wake up around midnight, stay up a couple hours, and then go back to sleep, waking at sunrise.
I've done it, but I usually feel really bad in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. And Ronnie says He says the journal is an awesome idea. I was late and I do apologize for having to repeat it. Thank you. No, you're fine, Ronnie. Bridget says, my fiance wants to know why he yells in his sleep sometimes, especially when he is exhausted.
So he like yells out. That's like in the whole, there's like sleep paralysis. Anytime you're like, people will punch walls, that's a whole thing. And if that has happened to him his whole life, or is it just during stressful times, like I was saying, when he's exhausted, that, it's basically stress induced when it's just like sometimes. But if it happens all the time, then it could be a medical issue that needs to be looked at.
That's a good point. Because I know when I'm stressed, I'll talk in my sleep more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I said, people will get up, walk around, hit walls, hit their partner.
I'm thinking of when I go through those phases and have those bizarre dreams, I'm thinking of actually putting my camera out and recording to see what goes on, because it's just me. So I don't have someone to tell me, if I'm seeing. Of course, I don't know. I might be afraid of what I would see.
That would be an interesting experiment to do, though.
Yeah, just to see. And because I'd be interested to see if there's ever anything paranormal that happens.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Too when you're dreaming. Because I will tell you, my cats are almost like emotional support animals in a sense. When I go through those phases when I'm having very bizarre dreams and waking up with my heart racing, it's almost like, so I first wondered if one of my cats had woke me up. My cats are. Yeah, most of my cats are older, so they tend to sleep pretty good. But what's crazy is when I wake up and if I'm in like having a nighttime panic attack, my orange cat Tito, he will come over and he'll actually lay on my chest and start purring. We've talked about how cat purrs at vibrations to calm and soothe.
Yep.
And I think they know that,
they do.
Yeah.
No, my Gizmo's the same way. My Binks, if I'm having a nightmare, I can guarantee you he's going to pull me out of it because I will feel his claw getting me and he pulls me out. So I don't know if we're like making noises, especially like if you're screaming in a dream, you like will hear yourself make a whimper when you wake up because you're actually trying to verbalize. It'll like kind of bleed through. So I think the cats wake us up and then they try to comfort us. I don't know what that is, but my cat does this right on my chest and she purrs. Same thing.
Well, and if you believe that cats are protectors from the underworld and, and they, there's certain things that if we are going somewhere else when we're having these dreams, it would make a lot of sense that cats would do what they do. Because my dog never did that when she was alive.
Yeah.
It's always my cats, and it's crazy because they seem to know.
They just do. Yeah.
Yeah. Ronnie says, don't think I'm crazy, but if I eat Chinese food, I have a bad dream every time. Could have food anything to do with it. Maybe something they cook in the dish, just thinking about the supplements for dreaming. Not crazy. So please don't judge by this question. No.
We were just saying that. Yeah. Don't eat 3 hours before you go to sleep because it puts a lot of pressure on your body to digest the food. And if it's, Chinese food, if it's a heavy dish with meats and sauces and stuff, it's going to make your body work really hard and it may manifest as a nightmare.
Yeah. And I think, because can't that put you at more risk for like heart attack in your sleep? Or in the morning, like eating late and.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting the restorative sleep. The whole key, basically the whole key to sleeping really is that we get that restorative sleep because that's where everything gets kind of shut down and our body goes in and tries to repair everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's busy working on the Chinese food instead.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Robert, we got Robert from Toronto here. And I don't know if you all could hear it. We've got some crazy wind out there. I just saw that there's some storms that are getting ready to come through. So, anyone out there in this area, please be safe. Let's see. Chris says, I didn't know that you could be dead in your dreams. That is wild. That new to me too. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bridget says, I had a dream of falling, and then when I woke up, my body felt like I was still falling. What does that mean?
That's because you're waking up, and it's the sensation. Everybody gets that, or most people get that. I've had that too. It's that you're waking up, your mind is waking up too soon from the dream when your body is still having like the experience. But that's like a normal, I mean, this happens all the time. It's normal experience.
Okay. And Bridget also says, she says her fiance is a twin. So if you need another set of twins for the study. Interesting. A lot of twins.
Yeah.
Let's see. Huh. That's interesting. She says she has a 10-month-old. What do you think babies dream about?
I wonder. That I don't know. That's even like children and babies, at what point, they'd have to relay the dream and you would forget it, by the time you get to a certain age. So I don't know.
That kind of also sort of goes to, it's not so much babies, and it's off topic, but not either. So, you hear about kids, for instance, that, I mean, I don't know what your belief or other people's beliefs are on reincarnation, but I've seen some fascinating stories where kids have been, really young, having dreams about maybe being a, World War II fighter pilot and knowing all of this stuff. And they were experiencing some of this in dreams. Do you think that sometimes, and again, I guess that goes into whether you believe in past lives or not, but do you think that dreams could be a glimpse into a past life in some instances?
Well, I feel like, because like I said, I've been studying a lot with ancestors and the ancestral memory. And so I feel like the theory I have, it could be a memory from, in the DNA from an ancestor that he's remembering.
Oh, okay.
It could be his own past life that he's recalling, but there's a lot of like proof now that in our DNA, there's ancestral memories. And so we could have a dream from a different time period and it seems so real, and it could actually be a memory. I had a dream not too long ago, and I was in Ireland. I was with my mom, and we were our ages. And she was telling me when she was a little girl, she used to look out the window and count the power lines to pass the time. And then when I woke up, I wanted to stay there and talk to my grandmother. And I asked, who do I have to talk to so that I can stay here? And I got the name Idrid. And when I woke up, I thought, is that even a real name? Which it is a real name. It's Welsh, apparently. And so I told my mom and my aunts about it. And my mom said that actually sounded familiar to her, because it would have been when she was a little girl, but she didn't know. And they were showing me pictures of what the outside of the buildings looked like. And the window looked like the same window.
Oh.
So who am I remembering? Because I was me. I don't know. But so I was digging deeper into the whole ancestral dreams and how that, so I kind of go that way with the dream,
Yes. Are you going to be doing any more experiments with that? Because I think that's absolutely fascinating.
That's actually my next experiment. I want to see if people can tap into either their ancestors or their ancestors' memories and see what we get.
Well, I look forward to hearing how that experiment goes. And thank you, Chris. I just saw this comment here. She said, for those in East Tennessee, Western North Carolina, and North Georgia, which is a lot of people here in the chat room, a strong line of damaging thunderstorms just popped up. It's coming fast and hard, so be prepared to take shelter. And she said that there's an alert for our area. I think I just heard that because I was literally sitting here and I tried to look out the window. Of course, it's dark out there. I couldn't see but there was some crazy wind, and Angela says crazy wind here in Southern Kentucky.
Wow.
So
that's so scary. You guys are all so brave. I'm in California.
Yeah, you just have fires there to worry about.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Fires and earthquakes.
Yeah, fires and earthquakes. We have crazy wind, tornadoes, and sometimes hurricanes, which is weird being
Yeah.
in this area. Let's see. So everyone definitely be safe out there. James says, I have dreamed I was shot on a few occasions, but could not say if I died or not. Oh,
Yeah, that one you would say, who shot you? How did you feel? Where did they shoot you? And then he doesn't know whether or not he died or not. But those are like journal prompts. Write those down. You know, what's the scene? Where were you? And you kind of get an idea of what it's speaking to.
And sometimes I wonder if some of that does have to do with anyone in investigations or anything like that, trying to send a message.
Yeah.
Ronnie says he had a dream just like that recently. Let's see. We're getting down here to the end of the comments. Sonia thanks Chris for letting us know. And Bridget says, my older son, when he was 4 years old, used to tell me that he had a brother that got killed in a motorcycle accident, and he remembered the ambulance.
Wow.
Wow, that kind of gave me chills.
Me too.
I mean, because how would a 4-year-old know that?
Yeah.
You know?
How would have, that's a lot of, detail that lines up with what would have happened, right? So is that, I mean, if nobody in the family had that experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it really makes you wonder. And then Nancy says, my son was in an earthquake in Japan last week. Wow.
So scary.
Very scary. Well, before we get to the end of the show here, let's talk just a little bit about your dream journal here. I know we've been kind of talking about here. Ooh, I think it's pouring rain now. I've got had the link in the comments. Let me pull it up here to Deedee's book. And so this,
on Amazon.
To me, this is fantastic because just the way you've made it so simple and easy to do. I'm really impressed by it, and
thank you.
Can't wait to see, what at the end of my 30 days, what parallels I can draw. And I'm actually really interested after those 30 days of doing another, like I said, either almost like a 3-month study just to see if there's anything that lines up. But now you've really got me thinking, since I do know there's certain times and I'm able to kind of tie it to stress, I'm curious to see how I can use this as almost a sort of self-help in dealing with some of the stressors that I have, knowing, and predicting of that,
Yeah. You'll see the patterns. I mean, it literally shows you the patterns and you can't unsee it. And the more you work with it, the more you dig in, and then you get your aha moments, and it really helps. Like, I've actually been able to let go of things that upset me, and I was able to see it through. I'll give you one quick one before we go, but I had a dream about an ex, and it's something that was a traumatic experience, and it's been years and years and years ago, but I think I repressed and moved on because at the time my son had a brain tumor and I didn't have time to have any emotions other than that. Right. And so I repressed it for so many years, and little by little it leaks out. It keeps you can't ever really repress anything. It will come out one way or another. And so I finally had a dream. It was in a basement. People were getting murdered in the basement. And I was a little bit disturbed by that. And then he came out of another room, and I handed him a spoon and I sent him down the hall to go get killed, and it was me letting that go. I said, here, this is your baggage, your issues, go. I don't need to hold on to this because there's nothing to do with me, but I needed to get to that point,
Yeah. And so after that, So I guess you had the peace because you were able to
Let it
see
go.
that in your dream and let it go.
Yeah, and let it go
Wow.
for real, not just like people say, "Oh, I
Yeah.
forgive," and all these different things, but like to truly at your core let it go. You know.
Wow. It's almost because I know for me, yeah, it's pouring down rain here now. For me, it's like one of the things I do when my mind is racing, I will use, and it actually helps me go to sleep. If my mind is racing about something that's going on, one of the things that I'll do is I'll visualize a chalkboard or a dry erase board, and all of that stuff is on, and I just visualize. I know a lot of people will do like cutting the cord or releasing the
Yeah.
balloon. To me, it's erasing that
Yeah.
stuff off of the board. And
Yeah.
most of the time, before I can get the board erased, as I'm sitting there visualizing it,
You fall
I'm
asleep.
asleep.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have meditation videos on my YouTube channel as well. Like ones
Oh,
for like grounding and setting intentions and pretty much pick a topic. And I think I've made and they're short too. So it takes you like 3 to 5 minutes and, kind of resets you before you go to sleep.
is that on your dream interpreter page?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm actually pulling that up right now. And I'm going to put the link in here. We had that on in the show notes, but I want to go ahead and put that over here in the comments section so that you guys, if you're tuning in and doing the replay of this video, or if you're just going through the comments section looking for quick click links, then we've got that here. This is the link to Deedee's Dream Interpreter video, YouTube channel. And she's got lots of great videos because you do a lot of short videos, right? Like the video shorts.
Yeah, for like dream symbols. So like if you have a dream symbol, you can request and I'll do a short. I've got meditations. I've got like I've even have my nightmares. If you want to see what kind of nightmares I have 4 up there that are some nightmares I turn into stories. I've done some interviews with different people that pet psychics, just different people that we spoke about dreams and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the meditations I feel are really helpful.
Absolutely. I love listening to meditations when I go to sleep. And I was looking to see if there was something else. Yeah, I wanted to make sure to point out, like I said, Deedee's got different worksheets and such inside the book, and then each of the she's got it broken down by the weeks on it with
so the weekly review.
Yes. So with the actual dream map, it's probably harder to see with my light, but you've got the actual dream map, and then on the back you have your journal entry that you put in there, and then as she said, back here is the all of the dream stuff. So
you can I prompt you to create your own dream dictionary with your symbols. So you spent the month creating these different symbols from your dreams, and you can write them down. You can actually make a dream dictionary since they're your most common symbols for you personally.
Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate all the comments and questions over here in the chat room. I know we've covered a lot of topics and talked about a lot with I don't know if you can hear that.
I can hear that. Is that hail?
You can hear that? It's literally blowing sideways. I can see, because I'm in sort of like a sunroom area, and the window's right in front. Like I can see the wind or the rain blowing, and it's blowing right up against the windows and the door.
Wow.
Wow.
That doesn't sound safe at all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I was not expecting that. I thought it had passed over, but I guess that's what happens when you have a 60-degree day here in December.
Yeah.
And again, we were like at 9 degrees on Monday. It was extremely cold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Deedee, this has been absolutely wonderful. I know that, you know, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come on tonight. And, oh, ooh,
wow.
yeah.
You better
I may go take cover here in just a few minutes.
Right?
I'm gonna blow my candle out now and get my flashlight here. That was
wow.
yeah. So anyways, I think we will go ahead and take cover over here. And if you are in the Southern Kentucky, East Tennessee, Western North Carolina, North Georgia area, I hope you guys stay safe this evening. Hopefully all these storms will pass by without incident. And we'll have to have you back on, Deedee.
Yeah,
and
anytime.
yeah, let us know on your studies if you're doing some of these guys. Go subscribe to Deedee's The Dreams Interpreter page on YouTube. We've posted that up on there. Do you have a Facebook page or any other pages that I'm missing? I know that
I have Instagram, The Dreams Interpreter, as well. And then Facebook, I feel like it's a little different and I can never remember what it is. But you can find me on Instagram. And if I do a when I do my dream study, then I will be posting it and I'll let you know as well.
And if anybody has, if they have a dream or have a question or something, can they reach out to you? And what is the best way?
Yeah. My email is thedreamsinterpreter@yahoo.com, or you can just write me on Instagram or Facebook if you can find me. And or even in my shorts, you can in the YouTube shorts, people post their dreams all the time, and I can interpret them from there as well.
Did you say that was at Yahoo or Gmail?
Yahoo.
Okay, I was putting that here in the comments section.
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah, guys, go show some support. Get your 30-day dream journal, and let us know. Get your dream journal, and maybe if you get this, maybe we can have another show some point here in the new year where we've all gone in, worked on our dream journal, and let us know. Because how cool would that be to know if people are starting to have more controlled dreams, starting to remember their dreams better, or just kind of working through some stuff. I do want to point out, I love the very first thing on the first page is setting your intentions. I love that.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, you'll be glad you did. Again, makes a great Christmas present and makes a great way to start off the new year. So
yes. Yeah.
When you're doing your New Year's resolution, why not incorporate that?
Totally.
Well, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Deedee. I hope
you
that.
Too.
Thank you. I hope that you guys over in the chat room do as well. There will be no show next Thursday night because that'll be Christmas Day. Hope everyone has a great day with holiday with their family and their loved ones. And then also we will be starting into the new year. Let me just check in to see. I know I've got some guests lined up in January. Just checking to make sure. I'm not 100% sure if we will have a show on the first. There might be 2 weeks before we do a show because the next week obviously will be New Year's Day. A lot of folks will be watching football, spending time with their family. We may go on and start the year off right. I will see about that. If we do, we'll be talking about New Year's superstitions and New Year's traditions. So we may come on and do that. But otherwise, I will have Mr. Davy Dower on, let's see, January 8th. So we will definitely return then, if not on January 1st. So just stay tuned for more information on that as well. So, so until then, hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and stay safe out there. So thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye.